Hey YouTube, this is Tempest again. I've got another deck profile for you for Dimension Police. This time it's going to be an Enigmen deck profile. Now I mentioned in one of my other videos that I had been making an attempt to weaponize them. I don't know if you can see my air quotes, but weaponize them. By that I meant trying to optimize the riding and brig riding of the Enigmen deck. So I think I've come up with a pretty decent build. It's not the best, but I think it works okay. Now, mind you, this is a kind of a fun deck for me, so I haven't put that much thought into it. So um, we're gonna get started right away. I should note that this build uses a special technique that most Dimension Police users should be aware of, called floating. Um, Floating is where you sit your opponent at 2 or 3 damage and attack them with a 2 crit Vanguard every turn, with the threat of checking 1 if not 2 crits on your drive check. Or, in this case of this deck, with the threat of having Commander Laurel to back you up and check a stand or heal or something to power up your Vanguard and make it harder to block. So, a lot of the rear guards in this deck are really weak, but the Vanguards tend to be really powerful. It's classic Dimension Police, and it's classic playstyle, which is, like I said, floating them at 3 and attacking their rear guards. So, let's get started with it, right? Alright, so our starter is Enigmen Flow. I considered starting with the Pioneer, but honestly, I want to have the 11k defense from Enigmen Storm, especially against the current meta. I just feel like it's too important to not have, so I felt like just going for the consistency with the ride chain is probably the best way to go here. So, alas, Enigmen wave it is. For triggers, we got 4 crits, 4 more crits for 8 crits, 4 stands, 4 guide dolphins, and 4 heal triggers. Alright. The reason I'm playing this lineup is because, number one, the break ride minuses your opponent's Vanguard by 5,000, so hitting a stand trigger is really helpful. Also, with this card, it lets you put it into your soul to give your Vanguard 3,000 power. So, if for some reason you, based on all the consistency that this deck has, if for some reason you still manage to miss the Grade 2 Enigmen card, this card can still help you pump Enigmen Storm up to 15,000 if you miss like everything else. This card will help you get Enigmen Storm up to 15,000. So that's the reason he's in here, and it's actually not bad having stand triggers in here. All right, now I don't have any draw triggers in here, so I have to compensate by playing a lot of extra draw power in this deck in my grade 1 and 2 lineup. So I'll get into that right now. For grade 1s, you have 4 of the ride chain, just to help you search for the grade 2, and it's simple as that. 3 Cosmo Roars. Tap this card and give a unit 2,000 power. It can help you fix columns and also power up your Vanguard, which is very important in this deck. 2 Commander Laurel. Normally you keep him behind your Vanguard, and then let your Vanguard swing, and if your Vanguard hits, you can rest 4 units and have it swing again. So this is one of the first floaters. If you have this card in play, your opponent has to either block your Vanguard every turn, or risk taking 2 Vanguard attacks with the potential of getting bonus triggers. If your opponent blocks everything from this guy, then you just have your rear guards attack at their rear guards and then kill them. So, keeping them at 3 damage is really helpful with this card. 1 Mass Police Quilt. I talked about this card in one of my other videos. We were talking about consistency cards. Her effect is when she boosts an attack that hits, you can discard a card and draw 1 card. So what she lets you do basically is she enables you to discard extra copies of your grade 1 of the ride chain, or your grade 2 even, and help you search for more copies of the break ride, because having the double break ride in this deck especially is going to be really helpful. Normally what you want to do is have the break ride, the break ride, and break ride, and then get break ride, the break ride, and break ride. But you get the idea. And then draw Operator Girl Mika, and then Mika will let you draw more cards when she hits, and so if you have that rear guard, or if you have that break ride to minus your opponent's Vanguard, that can put in a lot of pressure. So you want to be able to switch for those Mikas so you can help mitigate your losses with the draw power. And then last we have 4 perfect cards. These are my other deck, but I have them. So they proxy, yay! Normally you put Mass Police Quilt behind a strong rear guard. That's all I had to say about that. For grade 2s, we are playing 4 Enigmen Wave. I didn't want to play 4 of him initially, but I figured, that 11k base is just too important. His effect turn 2 is also kind of relevant. if he has 14k or higher when he hits, you can draw a card. So if you have a decent hand, then you can actually get him up to that 14,000. You know, you're probably good to go. Two 10k vanillas. All the cards in this deck are kind of bad. Like all the grade 1s are 6ks except for like Laurel, which is a 4k. So they have terrible grade 1 boosters in this deck, you know. So 2 of this guy helps to help make those 2-stage columns relevant. However, remember what I said earlier was that the point of this deck is to float your opponent at 3 and swing at their rear guards. So normally it doesn't matter how strong your grade 1s and 2s are because they're still going to be swinging for 1 or 2 stages over 9, 10, 11k rear guards, which are the majority of rear guards in the meta right now. So having a 2-stage column isn't really that important. Basically, he's in here to help you get Quilt off so you can cycle your cards better and make a 14k column with Laurel if you need it. So, we have 3 Mikas. You want to have at least one of these in your game to help you draw cards. And then the last card is 3 Mass Please Grander to help pop your Vanguard in certain situations. He gives 2,000 whenever he attacks, so when in doubt, if you have Laurel on board, swing with Vanguard first, and then swing at rear guard with this, just for no reason, right? If you don't have Laurel, you swing at rear guards with this, and then you swing with your Vanguard when he's powered up with this, so pretty good. Last for the grade 3s, we're playing 4 Original Saver 0, the Break Ride. When you Break Ride him, your Vanguard gains 10k, and your opponent's Vanguard loses 5,000, so it's pretty good. And then last we have 3 Enigmen Storm. When his power is 15,000 or higher, when he attacks, he gains an extra critical. So that's pretty good. Just decent 11k base when you have the ride chain on him. So I'm only playing the 7 grade 3s because I wanted to have more space for grade 2s. That's basically why. I could cut like a Mika or the Die Fighters for more. But honestly, I think the 4th Storm is kind of excessive. Because you just want to have that one Storm to Break Ride and potentially push for game with. So, yeah. That's all there really is to it. That's my Enigmen deck. If you have any questions or suggestions, be sure to comment below the video. And please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching.